Good morning, everybody. Cowboy here. It is 8:33 a.m. EST. Just getting started here. March, good morning, sir. Thanks for coming on. Let's go ahead and jump right into the markets. It's gonna be a relatively clean week up until about Thursday, even so, not so bad. What I mean by that is that we don't have a ton of economic data getting in the way of trades. So let's go ahead and grab a look at the economic data announcements first, because this is going to affect all markets, especially crypto and especially Forex. Monday, nothing, right? You got a couple of things coming out here right now. So we just had some data come out here this very minute, mostly on the USD side, but those are medium impact events, right? No high impact events until 8 a.m. tomorrow, or I should say 10 a.m. tomorrow EST. That's CB consumer confidence. That could move markets at that time. Then after that might be some nice trading, might be able to take advantage of that volatility. Let me zoom the screen in a little bit more so you can see it. And then Wednesday, nothing to talk really about unless you trade oil. There aren't oil inventories. Thursday is when you might see a little bit more action. We have at 6:30 a.m. a weekly metric unemployment claims. And again, just like any other high impact metric, if this is way off of the estimate, if the number that comes out is extremely different than what the forecast is, which is right here on the right-hand side of the screen, then yeah, you could be looking at a definite change. So just so you guys can see it, let's see here. This is where it says forecast. Why is this not allowing me to draw? Okay, well, I'm supposed to be able to draw on this screen using a certain tool, but let's see. No, I guess I'm not going to experiment now. Let's see what happens when I do this. Nope. Okay, forget all that. I thought I had some tools to work with here, guys and gals, but that did not happen. Anyway, the point here is that prelim GDP, unemployment claims, those two items right there are coming out at the same time, 8:30 a.m. EST Thursday. Could add a fair amount of volatility to the market, especially the GDP being a quarter over quarter metric, right? That comes out only a few times a year. And if that number, again, is far off the estimate, that we would see some action. And of course, it might make for some nice trading afterwards as volatility comes into the market, if that were to happen. And then Friday, 8:30 a.m. EST, we do have PCE price index. So that's going to be an inflation metric. It's one of the two. Some people say that this actually is the one that they really look at, although it seems that the market looks more at the CPI and it affects CPI. But I'll guarantee you right now, 8:30 a.m. EST Friday, if this PCE price index comes out far different to the estimate, then we can expect a lot of action in the market. And then you have some Canadian data coming out just before that too. So, specific to CAD, you're going to have to look at that. And there's some European items overnight. I'm really only focusing on the USD data, but do watch out for these impact events. You can go over to forexfactory.com to check all the events out. And again, the red envelopes there are what we have to worry about as far as what might move markets in a drastic manner. Looking at the charts, this is Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is showing some strength and resilience. And right now, to look at the algos, it is short-term bullish. It's bullish on the weekly, which is great because it was not the case just a couple weeks ago. And price was hanging out. Again, this is a weekly chart. Price was hanging out down in this kind of below this high time frame consolidation that I've drawn here. Let me kind of focus that a little bit better. And if you look at this, this goes back to March, and price has been rotating back and forth inside of this area, although the lows have gotten continuously lower, right? So if you look here, you'll see this was a low, that was a low right here, this was a low right there. So the lows and the highs have gotten lower. So that is a sign of overall price getting weaker and weaker. But given that this happened right after a massive move up that happened at the beginning of the year. Remember, this is a weekly chart. This is high time frame. And what you're effectively looking at here is really a bull flag. And on the very high time frames with Bitcoin, I don't mind looking at bull flags. In the low time frames, a lot of times you have what looks like a bull flag and it turns into something else. And bull flags are very basic, kind of very newbie way that traders look at charts it's a pattern that basically means price is going to go up afterwards, right? But with Bitcoin, it seems that there's another algo. It's called the momentum ignition algorithm. It's been around forever. And it seems that they kind of fool people into thinking there's a bull flag, and then price goes the opposite direction. So I'm real kind of careful looking at those on Bitcoin, as I am with most markets, but especially Bitcoin. In this case, though, high time frame, that's a weekly, and this is pretty much like a textbook bull flag in the high time frame. So for price to go up after this makes a lot of sense, and pretty much the whole market is convinced that Bitcoin is going to break the highs sometime soon. Now, I think, again, the high here is 74,000, which is, way up top here. And if I were to do some basic targets based on that, some Fibonacci targets, I already have them lined out. And that's going to be stopping off at about 88,000 and at about 100,000 or so. Those are the Fibonacci targets for the super high time frame. Right. So basically 88 and 100,000. So I would expect price, if I had $100,000 target, it's really about 103. So I would be okay with keeping it at 101, 102 instead of, trying to, I mean, 100,000 is going to be a psychological number. If I saw that price was headed up to $100,000 and I had a very, strong long on, I might even take profit right before 100,000, or at least take some profit off or all the risk off or something along those lines. Now, short term, we don't really have enough data for short-term targets at this point. And there's always that chance the price wants to dive down to grab some more liquidity before it does head up, and that could happen. For the moment, though, the weekly algos are short-term bullish. They could flip bearish, but I'm seeing some metrics on the high time frame that are telling me that actually price may be ready to go ahead and make its move up. So we'll see about that. It's real kind of iffy right now. And of course, on the monthly, if you look at the super high time frames, it's going to be a different look altogether. Price is like bullish, but taking a break, basically, on the super high time frames. So what you're looking at here is a monthly chart going back to about 2018. And if you look at the algos, I know I don't really explain these algos, all this data on the bottom of the screen, but basically it's at a point where it either needs to go or not, right? It's kind of at a point where, okay, things are bullish, but price really needs to kick in. The bulls need to kick in to do something. Otherwise, it's going to crash. And I'm pretty sure the bulls are going to do that. I could be wrong. We're just going based on the 4-year cycle history, right? Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes and I did not get any chart requests from the audience. I got about 20 people watching. Remember, if you're watching this, this is free for you all, right? You can come on in, come to the YouTube comments, or if you can do comments on X and Rumble, and ask for a chart. If you want to see a chart of a stock, or if you want to see a chart of something on say foreign exchange or precious metals, whatever it is, that's what this show is for. So go ahead, come on in, ask for that. We'll do a custom chart for you. Now, the Algo Factory members do have priority on that. So, that's if an Algo Factory member asks for a chart, they're going to jump ahead in line ahead of everybody else on this show. However, it's been pretty quiet this morning. Not as fun as last Friday. There were a lot of people on last Friday. So speak up if you're watching this. Get yourself some free data. None of it's investment advice, right? Okay, go to algofactory.tech. That's our website, algofactory.tech. You can zap the QR code on the top right-hand side of the screen. That'll take you to our website. And we help people become traders. We help people build a trading method so that eventually they have the opportunity to extract money from the market on a regular basis, right? That's the whole idea. And the highest indicator for success is going to be work ethic. It's not intelligence. It's not genius. It's not the ability to computer code. None of that. Most of our people are trading manually. They're building algos, but they're trading them manually. They haven't been coding them. That's fine. We do have some who are coding. Either way, that is an opportunity for you as well. If you should like to, code your algo and then have it to where it can trade for you while you're not at the computer, that's an option for you. So come on in, algofactory.tech. Do not forget.
Join us or die.